Hi Carly. So I have your file, I opened it up, and what I'm seeing is that the white is an object. So what probably happened is that when you live traced, you didn't press the ignore white. I will show you an example of that. So I'm just gonna grab something random to live trace. Here we go. Let's see if that works. And okay, so you can see this has not been live traced, it's not vectorized. In order to live trace it, we're going to go to Window. First I need to select it. And then, okay, we've got the image trace. Under here, advanced, this is important. Okay. When under advanced, it's not right here. You have to click on this little button, and then it says ignore the white. If you don't press ignore white, everything that's white also becomes another object. And we don't want that, right? You just want only the line work to be an object and to have the transparency. So make sure that ignore white is on. And then let's see how this works, how this is gonna look if with the preview. So that looks pretty good. And then we'll say trace. And then we need to expand that. So let's expand it. Okay. So you could see the areas that were, this is a pretty low res image, but now you can see, right, that it's live traced. And then all the things that weren't super dark didn't really work out. But anyway, I'm not talking about live tracing. Let's go back to your image. So yeah, it's the ignore white setting that was not checked. I'm gonna take the white arrow, the direct selection tool. Okay, so I could see if I Command Y is helpful because I can kind of figure out what's happening with the if it's actually vectorized. And I'm going to take the white, let's see. Okay, let's go back in time. All right, so if I take the white arrow, I can select just this white box, right? This is a white box, and I'm just going to press delete 2 times, delete 2 times, and then you can also, I'm with the white arrow, which is the direct selection tool, because you could see this is actually an object, and it's a white object that is inside of your black object. And if we delete that, you're going to get the transparency that you're trying to get. So some of this might be grouped together. So what I suggest that you do is just let's select all, Command A, and I'm just going to ungroup everything. That will help you. That's the first thing you want to do, is just ungroup it, and then you can take the white arrow, the direct selection tool, and just, you could see how, right, this is an object and we're just going to delete it. I'm going to show you how to do this super fast to save you time so that you don't have to click in each little thing and try to get the white parts. So what you're going to do, you could go into A, the direct selection tool, and then you've got the group selection tool. And I'm going to click in one white area, and then I'm going to say select the same fill color. What this is going to do is it's going to select, it should select everything that has a fill of white. Now let's press delete. So what I just did was I deleted all of the white objects that were created from the live tracing that happened, and that was because ignore white was not selected when you live traced. So now when I do Command Y, you can see that it's just the black fills, and that now you might want to go back and take this and let's group that, Command G, so that when I click on this, it's all together, since we ungrouped it before. You're going to need to ungroup in order to grab all the white objects that are not allowing you to color behind. You'll also need to change your artboard here. Let's look at the assignment. So you could watch this part 2, create and save your source files. So this video talks about getting each artboard and the size of your artboards. You could just do it directly in this source file now. We can take the artboard tool and we're gonna let's make another artboard, and what I'm gonna do is let's put in the correct width. So it's 360 pixels by that number. And whoops, let's go back to the artboard tool. All right. Why? If it's not letting you, you need to undo constrain so that it's not constrained, so we can make our own amounts here. All right. Okay, so I put in these amounts. We can go back to the move tool. I noticed that this is CMYK. You're going to need to make this RGB because this is not for print, this is for the screen. So let's change the document color mode to RGB. That's important that you do that. And let's just take a look at the document setup. Like, you could also edit your artboards from here if you want to. Now, the video in part 2 talks about exactly what I'm going to tell you right now, which is that we're taking this artboard and we're going to press Option or Alt if you're on a PC, and we're going to click and drag to duplicate and move at the same time. If you press Shift, it's going to keep it in line. So how many do you have here? You should have 9, I think, right? Yes, you have 9. So once you get 3 up, you could continue pressing Shift click. Shift click gives you the duplication to add to your selection. And now I'm pressing Option and clicking and dragging to duplicate. And I can do that again. Option or Alt on a PC, click and drag, pressing Shift. Shift allows it to stay in line. And I let go of the mouse and then, or the trackpad, and then let go of Shift and Option. So now you have your individual artboards, and you're going to need to take these guys and put them in here, and you're going to need to resize them proportionally to fit. If it's stretching out, press Shift while you resize so that it stays proportional to your to the size of your artboard, and then just try to get it as big as you can without getting too close to the edges. So make sure that your work does not do this here. You want a little bit of space, but not so much space that it becomes a super tiny image. These are small because they are set up to work in line, very small. So yeah, so now you can work on getting these in here and then color from there. I'm not sure how you were coloring. It looked like you were using the blob brush, and that you had a whatever color you were working with, and then you were just kind of making some colors like that, and then sending that to the back. What you could do is you could also, I'm not sure if you were doing this, but you could take the layers. This is helpful because you can kind of see what is going on. But say, I don't really recommend using a lot of layers in Illustrator, but if it helps you and you're used to layers from another program, you can do that so that you're, let's call this line work, and then you'll make another layer, and this is the fill color, and you want this, let's take, this is the fill color. I'm gonna see how that's blue. That corresponds to the color of the layer, and this is red. So I'm going to cut, Command or Control, if you're on a PC, X, and I'm gonna go, I'm gonna lock this, and I'm gonna paste. See how this is red? That corresponds with this red. So this fill is now on this layer, and I could move this down and I can lock that, so that is helpful, right? Another way to just quickly fill, which might actually be so much faster, unless you really like however you were coloring before, is you could just use the shape builder tool. So I'm gonna go back to this line work layer, and you should have your swatches. So let's bring out our swatches, and you should have like custom colors that you're working with. So say I want to use like a yellowish for the bun color, or maybe like more of a reddish bun. Okay, so my color is in my fill, and I need to, first step is to select what I'm working with. I'm just going to do this all in the same layer for now. So select what you're working with, get the shape builder going tool. I'm going to get my color that I want first. And now if I click, it's just made a shape in there, and it is the color that is the fill. So that's a really super fast way of coloring automatically using to create an object that doesn't exist. And you could actually technically, since this before we actually just deleted all of the white to make it transparent, if you wanted to, you could just recolor all those white things. All right, so I'm going to leave you there. You have a few ways of coloring. If you'd like, you could just use, let's select that, just get the shape builder tool, and maybe the lettuce is going to be here, right? So now I have to go in here and click all the lettuce. And you did such a good job with your art that this is super easy to color now because it's so graphic already. And not only graphic, but also contained. See how each thing is, it's all contained in a shape except for this little part, but that should be easy. So it really just depends how you want to color this, if you want it to be block or if you want it to be like more expressive with the the blob brush tool.